Well, I had some good trainers. Once I entered the job, some good trainers. They had
that's always the best one.
yeah. That a wealth of knowledge, and they're dedicated to what they were doing. So, passing on the knowledge is pretty easy if you're willing to listen and you've got good trainers. You'll be engaged the whole time, so it's no worries at all.
Yeah. And I was going to just say, for those people who are watching, overseas or international, when you say the Nullarbor Plain, that is a stretch of desert from probably Adelaide through to Perth, like from Adelaide down south to the west coast. That's quite a few thousand Ks, right?
You're testing my memory now, but I think it's not quite 2,800 kilometres.
Right.
So
it's a long way on just going across a desert with straight line and nothing else.
Yeah, well, there is a straight stretch there, which I think is about 477 kilometres without a curve.
Wow!
So it's pretty straight. You don't need to get your route knowledge book out for that one. I can tell you.
Yeah. We have somebody that's currently walking across Australia, going that many miles. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's his name's Matt. He's walking from the Cape, right up the tip of Australia, down to Tasmania, 5,000 Ks. He's doing it for mental health and suicide, but whew, man, you think driving a train for 2,800, but walking it like 5,000 Ks, jeez.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He's got a few good pairs of shoes.
Oh, yeah, he has. Well, he just pulled up, actually. We interviewed him the other day with a few other people dealing with mental health. They're advocates and run their own non-profits. I think he's at not Rockhampton. It's in New South Wales. He's done about 2,500 Ks, but he started getting the shin splints, and he had to pull over and take.
Yeah.
Oh man, he had to take 4 days off. They had X-rays. He said it's all good, but he said I just had to, take a bit of a rest. But wow, I mean, you sit there thinking, oh yeah, I got 500 Ks of straight track here. I can't imagine what it'd be like sitting there thinking I got 5,000 Ks to walk.
That's right.
Man.
Well, he's doing it for a good cause.
Oh, he is, mate. Yeah, it's really, it's an amazing cause. What he's raised quite a bit of money at the moment. So just so people know, can you explain or share what it's like going across the desert? Because there's very few. There's obviously you've got little. I don't know what you call them now, stations or stops where if there's issues you can pull over or sidings, but you're crossing trains coming the other way. It's all single line, correct?
Yep. And paper-based train authorities all the way across there because of the remoteness. There's no signals. So you'd have a paper-based authority giving to cross other trains. But but there's no years ago there were lots of stations at those locations along the Nullarbor, but now there's none. They've removed them all. Cook is still there, which is sort of the halfway point, I guess, if you like, where you can refuel your locomotives and keep going. But other than that, there's nothing else out there. It's as flat as flat. There's no trees. It's somewhat featureless. But I enjoyed going across there. I was a part of a 4-man team, and every one of them, were ripper fellas to work with. You see the day from sun up till sundown, and I enjoyed going across there. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it would be amazing. I lived in Perth, and I remember travelling on the Indian Pacific when I was a kid, when I was only 4 years old, but I still remember the observation car at the back, and that was the biggest thrill for me, sitting in the back of a train, looking where you could, the round glass windows. It was just amazing. I loved it,
Yeah.
Have you ever had anything strange happen out there? Because going across the desert, you hear a lot of stories. Have you had anything weird happen? Flying saucers or aliens?
I wished I could tell you something like that. I really do. I did one night download War of the Worlds onto my iPod, and we turned the lights off on the loco and played that flat out.
That's hilarious.
But no, I can't. I mean, the night sky is amazingly fascinating out there. Like I say, from sun up till sundown, and the other way around, the things you see in the sky, and because there's no interruption on the horizon, like there's no trees or buildings, so from horizon to horizon you see everything. So,
yeah,
you know, whether it be, you know, weather patterns and the like. I mean, I've never seen a flying saucer, but I would love to have.
Have you ever seen a zombie attack before on the train?
I wish.
Well, it's funny you sort of say that jokingly, but there was, I don't know if you remember it, Ben, but back years ago, there was this, you can probably Google it, it's still there, Doug, if you want to check it out, the Nullarbor nymph. Do you remember that?
I've heard stories, yeah.
It was just what happened. It was like, it wasn't on the, well, it might have been the train tracks too, but many of the roads, they'd see this naked blonde woman like running across the road, and then she'd disappear. No one ever found her. So for weeks and weeks, they're going, this Nullarbor nymph. They ended up finding it was some girl from the local town just running naked across the highway. But she made the news. Yeah, she made the news.
Yeah, I bet she did.
Maybe she was a zombie.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, Doug, throw some more questions at Ben, because obviously me being an ex-rower, man, I'm going to throw plenty. So you better dive in quick, mate.
Sure.
Just to tell you a bit, Ben, that's a running joke between he and I. Sometimes we get so caught up in this that he forgets I'm here sometimes.
No, I don't forget. I just don't want to talk to you.
Okay. Anyway, so Ben, what's your funniest memory of working on the railway? Whether it's putting a whoopee cushion under someone's chair or giving them exploding gum, what is it?
Wow.
Yeah, they're more mature than that, Doug.
Well, I do have a funny story. It's a little risque though, and I'm not sure that I probably should share this, but I'll try and G-rate it as best I can. I was traveling to Port Augusta on a New Year's Eve one year, and a friend of mine was traveling alongside of us in a car heading back home to a place called Cooper Pedy, which is in the mid-north of South Australia, opal mining town. And so he sort of, you know, got me on the phone and asked me where I was, and I told him, and he said, "Oh, well, I'll see you down the track a little bit and we'll wave to you as you go past." And anyway, I was half expecting him to drop his pants and hang his bum out at me, and he did, but so did his wife. And the bloke I was working with said to me, "Put the brakes on," and we stopped and we pulled up right alongside of him, and she came racing up to the cab and said, "You weren't supposed to stop."
That's hilarious, mate. Yeah, that's a little bit of a thing we do in Australia. Is I don't know why. I can remember as a teenager, it's always stick your butt out the car window to your mates or someone and just bare your ass to people. And it's like, I don't know why we did. I don't even know where that started, mate. Like,
No.
I won't call what it said because it's probably a bit rough, but yeah, that was a habit we did. I don't know. I don't know why. I have no idea why.
I think it's called mooning.
That's the nice term, mate. But we have another term which is not going to mention here.
No.
Yeah,
but that's probably. I mean, I've shortened the story there and G-rated it plenty, but that's probably the funniest thing that I've seen. I wasn't expecting it, but normally.
Well, you know, as you head up, for those listening from Adelaide, you head towards Melbourne, which is about 800 kilometres away, and going up through the Adelaide Hills in South Australia, you get up to Murray Bridge, and we used to run the passenger train through there, right? And we were doing the local Tail and Bend passenger train, and we come into Murray Bridge, and normally we would, you know, stop quickly and head off, but we stopped and we're waiting, and you know, suddenly the guard come up and he said, some guy stepped out of the train on the crossing. I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, he stepped out of the train." I said, "But we were doing like 60 mile an hour coming over that crossing." And so anyway, he told us the story, and the guy, he was fine. He lived. He just had a few bruises, but he was drunk, like drunk. And he thought we were pulled into the station. I don't know how, when you're rocking around at 60 mile an hour, and he just opened the door and stepped out.
Stepped out.
Yeah, just stepped out, mate. He just landed in the bushes, and because he was so drunk and loose, like he did not break a bone. Nothing.
Yeah, that's right. He just tumbled a bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he just tumbled and wondered. We probably thought, well, I thought the platform was here. Like, there's no platform, mate.
Getting drunk on a train. Oh,
yeah,
why am I not surprised?
Yeah, you can drink on the trains, mate. Oh, no, I think he was drinking a little bit before that. He was pretty full.
Yeah.